In our village, there lived a man named Mr. Wang, who was the seventh son in a large family. Mr. Wang was very interested in the Taoist religion. When he heard that there were many immortals at Lao-Shan, he packed his bag and set off on a journey there. Upon reaching the peak of the mountain, he found a secluded monastery where a priest with long hair and a pleasant expression was sitting on a rush mat. Mr. Wang bowed deeply and said, "The Taoist teachings are mysterious. Please, sir, instruct me in them." The priest replied, "You seem delicate and lacking in energy. I'm afraid you won't be able to handle the hard work." Mr. Wang insisted, "Please, let me try." So, when the many disciples gathered at dusk, Wang joined them in bowing to the priest and stayed in the monastery. Early the next morning, the priest gave Wang a hatchet and sent him out with the others to cut firewood. Wang obediently worked for over a month until his hands and feet were swollen and blistered. He secretly thought about returning home. One evening, when Wang returned, he found two strangers drinking with his master. Since it was already dark and there were no lamps or candles, the priest cut out a circular piece of paper like a mirror and stuck it on the wall. It instantly became a bright moon, lighting up the room. The disciples gathered around, but one of the strangers said, "On a festive night like this, we should all enjoy ourselves." He took a kettle of wine from the table and offered it to the disciples, telling them to drink their fill. Wang wondered how 7 or 8 people could be served from one kettle. Each disciple hurried to get a drink, fearing the wine would run out. But no matter how much they drank, the kettle was never empty, which amazed them all. Then, one of the strangers said, "We have a bright moon, but it's dull drinking alone. Let's invite Chang'er to join us." He threw a chopstick into the moon, and out stepped a beautiful girl. She was initially only a foot tall but grew to normal size upon reaching the ground. She danced gracefully and sang, "Ye fairies! Ye fairies! I'm coming back soon. Too lonely and cold is my home in the moon." Her voice was clear and melodious, and when she finished, she pirouetted and jumped back onto the table, becoming a chopstick again. The 3 friends laughed heartily, and one of them said, "We are having a great time, but I can't drink any more. Will you share a final drink with me in the Palace of the Moon?" They then picked up the table and walked into the moon, where they could be seen drinking so clearly that their eyebrows and beards looked like reflections in a mirror. Eventually, the moon became obscured, and when the disciples brought a candle, they found the priest sitting alone in the dark. The food was still on the table, and the paper moon was still on the wall. The priest asked, "Have you all had enough to drink?" They replied that they had, and he told them to go to bed so they wouldn't be late for wood cutting in the morning. Wang was thrilled by what he had seen and thought no more of returning home. But after a while, he couldn't stand it any longer. Since the priest hadn't taught him any magical arts, he decided not to wait. He approached the priest and said, "Sir, I traveled a long way to learn from you. If you won't teach me the secret of immortality, at least teach me a small trick to soothe my craving for knowledge. I've been here for months, doing nothing but chopping firewood, which I was never used to at home." The priest replied, "I told you that you wouldn't be able to handle the hard work. Tomorrow, I'll send you home." Wang pleaded, "I've worked for you for a long time. Teach me something small so that my time here hasn't been in vain." The priest asked, "What do you want to learn?" Wang said, "I noticed that you can walk through walls. Teach me that, and I'll be satisfied." The priest laughed and taught Wang a mantra to recite. After reciting it, Wang was told to walk through the wall. But seeing the wall in front of him, Wang was hesitant. The priest urged him to try, so Wang walked up to the wall and was stopped. The priest then told him, "Don't go so slowly. Put your head down and rush at it." Wang stepped back and ran at the wall full speed, and the wall yielded, allowing him to pass through. Delighted, Wang thanked the priest, who warned him to use his power carefully. He also gave Wang some money for his journey home. Upon returning home, Wang boasted about his Taoist friends and his ability to walk through walls. His wife didn't believe him, so he demonstrated. Stepping back from the wall, he ran at it full speed, but hit the hard bricks and fell to the floor. His wife helped him up and found a bump on his forehead, laughing hysterically. Wang, overwhelmed with rage and shame, cursed the old priest for his ingratitude.